So I guess the definition of a Boomerang employee, quite simply, is someone who has left and come back. But I think that the simple fact that we do have a name for it shows that it's happened often enough that it's something that, has its own term. Originally when I left, I was just like, I'm just gonna take a month off, which was good, which was needed, so I just took a break. Shortly thereafter, a friend of mine, he got in touch with me and he was interested in doing a startup.
There was an innkeeper in Vermont who was not doing very well. She had an illness and needed somebody to come in and help her with the business because she was transitioning over to sell it. And so the more that I thought about it, all signs pointed east, and that's what I needed to do. And I couldn't ignore that was something that I had to do.
My wife and I had a child, and we started talking about the idea of moving back to Cincinnati, Ohio, because that's where all of our family lives. And I kind of lost that argument. So we moved in April of 2013.
So it was a really, really hard decision because I loved what I did. I loved the industry. I loved my team. I loved the company. There was nothing about it that I didn't love.
My boss and I have a really good relationship. I have a lot of really great friends here. I've developed tons of great relationships here. So it was easily one of the hardest decisions I've ever made.
When I was at the inn and it was the end of my tenure there, I had a contract with them. And Matt had asked me, what would you like to do in the industry? And I said, well, I know exactly what I'd like to do. Let's see if it fits into the, the plan of the business.
They had budget to get a bunch of native developers. So at the time, they were hiring a mobile architect and said, well, let's see what Alex is doing. I was really excited. It was kind of this team that was starting up fresh. In my mind, it was almost like, oh, this is cool. This is like a little startup. So I couldn't have wished for, a better opportunity at that point.
It was an extreme relief for me to be able to come back here.
It was said to me by one of my peers and managers that I worked with that, I would be welcome back. And that's something that really stuck with me. And when I would speak about the company when I wasn't here, it was always we or us. And so I still was a part of the team, even though I wasn't a part of the team. I never considered myself not being part of the company, even while I was gone.
Things happen in your life, and they react to that appropriately and kindly, and allows you to maintain those relationships.
For the number of employees who have gone out and have been like, oh yeah, we want to do our own thing, and then we're like, that we've come back with open arms. I
was asked to, type out and share what my experience was as a Boomerang employee, and when that came up, I thought, Boomerang, well, it makes sense if you throw something out and it comes back in that text of it. But I like to think of myself as a full circle employee.